Welcome back to Prehistoric Kingdom. I'm a little out of it today, so if I sound a little off, that's why. A little bit too much smoke here in the Midwestern U.S. boiling down from Canada. Fucking with my sinuses a bit. So this is the reserve paddock area. This is what would have been the baryonyx in Jurassic Park itself. That's typically, sorry, let me rephrase that. Typically, this is what people assign to the baryonyx. We don't actually have any evidence for that directly. In the film, it's just called the reserve paddock. We've carved it into two because we're doing Anax and Gematinite Allosauruses as our stand-in for baryonyx, or our stand-in generically for any of the larger but not T-Rex scale carnivores that might have been in the park. So we got this southern chunk here and this northern chunk here, and collectively the two very crudely match the reserve paddock. We're also accommodating this cliff because we want to keep this and use this, so it's kind of a compromise between the two. The northern perimeter of the reserve paddock would be right here where the raptor paddock ends, and they would be connected. So we're about the same level, and then down here it connects in with the southern half of the Gallimimus exhibit, which is our Stegosaurus exhibit, which we have fattened up a little bit because it probably should have been, and also we just needed to extend this fence out further. The Stegosaurus pen, or the Gallimimus paddock, whichever one you prefer to call it, or think of it as the southern southwestern expanse, should just lead right up into the reserve paddock. So these had to be kind of the same length to make it work. And then we'll run the path here around and up onto this cliff, I think. First, let's get our... How are you? Are you escaped? I don't believe you. Maybe I do believe you. Did I delete part of the fence? No, because then it wouldn't show us this. I'm gonna believe that is okay. It's fine. Maybe that was a temporary warning. Yeah, because now this actually shows correct. I think I might have had a gap in the fence briefly. It looks like we have just slightly too much forest. The Styrax as well. There we go. Perfect. Hey, you're not a Styracosaurus. The bipedal feeding animation on the baby stego, that's incredible. That's fantastic. I really like that a lot. Okay, what was I doing? I got completely distracted. The allosaurs. So with the allosaurs, let's look at the Paleopedia. Gematsuni has a water need, but it could be min. And then Anax has maybe less of a water need, I guess. I would say so. So I think we put Anax in the north, Gematsuni in the south. Little fuzzy fella. So I think 3 allos overall is probably all right. Because the Anaxes are solitary anyway. It'd be nice in GW3 we got a new Stego whose baby could be bipedal as well. That would be sick. I doubt it'll ever happen, unfortunately. I feel like a completely unique juvenile animation set like that is too much to ask for, unfortunately. The stark black melanistic aloe is pretty sick. We're just going to do, I think, 1 female here. And then for the Gematsuni, let's look at the adults, male and female. Not too much dimorphism there color-wise. This one they resisted, I guess, the temptation to make the crest very dramatic. Um, let's get rid of that. 0 to 6 on male and 0 to 6 on female. So we could have actually quite a lot of these, but I think I'm just going to do 2. So we'll do 1 male, 1 female. Outsource Anax would make a pretty good antagonist. I could see that. Maybe it would clash too much with having, like, Aloe be somewhat prominent. What, I guess just a different shade of skin color there, slightly browner. The baby especially looked very brown compared to the other one. Okay. Well, there's our aloes. And then for the T-Rex, I gotta try and finish up this paddock, but it's potentially quite big, which is awkward. I think I want to kind of truncate this end of it. The problem with the T-Rex paddock in the film is the tour basically goes like right through the middle of it. And this whole downward section over there is where the T-Rex is, and this part is like unspecified, so it's a little awkward. I'll see what we can do with it. Alright, here's what we're doing for the full tour route. Path snakes in over here next to the galley enclosure / stego enclosure there. Up onto the cliff, past the reserve paddock, which will be our allosaur enclosure. Crosses the river on this nice bridge. Hopefully this bridge is functional. It's a double bridge connected together, so we'll see if any of that works. Continuing this way, past the reserve paddock, up the cliff still. Comes down here. This is going to be the Tyrannosaur paddock. We're not going to put anything on this side of it. We're just basically squishing the whole side in so that the tour path can essentially be just on the outer perimeter. And we follow very closely here with the perimeter. That way it looks kind of like the tour road sequence from the film in the sense that the, you know, fence is like right there. And then this segment here wraps all the way around back to the Ceratopsid enclosure. Well, the Triceratops enclosure, because Thyrac is not in here. And then connects back up on the edge where we put this tower in originally. So the path here just kind of snakes away, then it gets tighter on this section. It's not even connected because this was being weird and I deleted it. Yes. True. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, discharge required for Bina to get you back to your home, which is here. You are happy. Diseased animal, Ahote. Ringworms recovering. Okay, I guess they got the checkup already and dealt with it.
The fossil record shows a bone bed of what was assumed to be a herd of these animals. But from what I've found, they're far more antisocial than expected.
Okay.
Perhaps a result of modern climatic conditions or irregularities in the genome. I'll leave that up for you to decide.
All right. You know what? Let's do a little thing here. So we have. Let's talk about the entrance to the park, right? So last time we had this custom entrance over here that we never were able to get working because the visitor pathfinding was blocked, so they couldn't actually leave the building. We've just scrapped it. I put instead this decorative Jurassic Park helipad in here, and we're using the visitor center as the entrance to the park. We have this decorative JP style hotel as well, based probably off the hotel from Return to Jurassic Park / JW2 Jurassic Park era, I would imagine. And some of the other decorations we have that we hadn't used much previously were, yes, and they are functional, it seems. Some Jurassic Park JPOG-inspired custom feeders. So, I want to duplicate you. Duplicate selected groups. Duplicate with advanced editing. Okay, duplicate you. We're going to use these feeders going forward. Maybe replace some of the other ones. Could gene modification work in PK? I think it could. And I think it would be interesting. I think the gene modification systems in JWE have a lot of good potential in them, and I would be excited to see another take on the systems because I can see room for improvement. All right, and then these are what were these? 2.5 or 4 meters. We need a water dish. We don't have a custom water dish, so that's fine. Just throw in one of you right there. Okay, and then maybe we wait for these to be filled before we release the animals. That way we're releasing them into a stocked enclosure instead of one that is unstocked. In fact, we do need both plants and meat right now. Just grab a ton of that. Medicine, looks like we might want to, but it's not an immediate concern. Oh yeah, and we put in a nice Jurassic Park gate. Because of course, you gotta have a gate. You can't not have a gate in your park, obviously. And so it's basically where the gate would be on the tour if you think this is the tour road. Which is the, the idea. Oh, and I had never finished fixing the path up here, so I do need to do that too, because this whole arc is gross. Before we do that, okay, let's look at this. We are at 4.5 stars. We have 16 out of 22 unique species. We're missing Psittacosaurus, of which we're putting in, I think, 3 species, our 2 Allosaurs and our Tyrannosaurus. So that's 6. We got the Psittacos last time. But I think we've only done, we only did Spa. Oh my god, he's a little gremlin. Ah, it's because he's an albino. That makes him look even more gremlin-y because he's unpigmented. Okay. 1 to 2 male, 1 to 3 females. So I think what we'll do is the full 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Tyrannosaurus. We're doing 1. We want our Rexy, so to speak. So that one is nicely brown. It's not going to be the feathered one for this one. Yeah, I think this is our best bet for a Rexy, probably. Yeah. Okay, let's do some gene editing. Override color, and we got to override size too, right? Because it's Rexy. It's got to be, like, enormous. Oh, do I not have this researched, maybe? Shoot. I think that's the brownest look. There's a pattern value, but we can't do anything, which is interesting. Is that a separate research? Mating suppressor, improved mutagen, maximizes the efficiency. So where was the previous one we did? Nursery size. Here. Chromatic phenotype. Somatic growth modulation. Enables size editing. Yeah, let's do that. Let's put 2 on that. We'll do the largest Rex we can possibly do because it's Jurassic Park. But then I guess the pattern thing is maybe a planned thing because I don't see another thing here, really. Although it could really be anywhere and I could just be missing it. Okay, well, let's just leave that as that. Psittacosaurus 2 and 3. Here is 1. Let's throw 2 on that. And then the last one. First Psittacosaurus I find is going in the park. Which maybe there's only 3, I don't remember. Somewhere. Ah, here. Alright. Great. Everybody's busy. Fantastic. I'm going to try out these guys in this exhibit. Why are we getting... Okay, it's fine.
Now this little fella is a Psittacosaurus.
You don't say.
Thanks to a number of recent findings,
Well, that's
we're able to restore
water.
this creature to a high degree of genetic accuracy. Right
There we
down
go.
to the quills and coloration in some of its species.
Alright. Barry, that's, Sure, man. You can be Barry. Okay, they're happy, so yeah, I think we'll, leave this batch of Psittacos in here and see how well they handle the enclosure. See if they get bullied or anything. The Starax should be fine. It's the Stegos that might eventually be a problem for them, but maybe it's, maybe it'll work out. Who knows? Do these enclosures over here have any food in them yet? Well, I can tell you one thing. It's under the ground. So that's not ideal. There we go. And this one also ended up under the ground. Name one of them Dolores because it's funny. You got it. They have extra Dolores-y vibes as the babies. Because they don't have all their quills growing in yet. Alright, you're a guy named Espresso, so it's not going to be you. Shu is now Dolores. Wait, is it? It's Dolores? Is it Do or De? Dolores? Sure. And they're just immediately going in the water, like a lot of animals in this game tend to do. So they're going to get Rotfoot. Hooray. All right, here's our new path along the edge of the Brachiosaur / Parasaur enclosure. Also, the Parasaur horns coming in nicely. The crest is quite large. Very cool. Are you a proper adult? 61%. Yeah, I guess so. Sexually mature. No, not quite sexually mature, though. Maybe because the breeding season's not here yet. Maybe this will be the first breeding season coming up. Not sure. We got our Cretocristatus. They're also looking very good. Did I put in a nest for these guys? Because, like, the Amano's gotta be sexually mature. They're not. Let's put in a nest. Even if I have nests already, another one is not a problem. Okay. I'd like to see the rest of the franchise species in this game. Obvious exceptions being Beckel and Titanosaurus. That's fair. Yeah, it would tickle me to have every, like, major franchise animal, or just even the minor franchise animals available in this game, to do, like, a genuine JP roster instead of having to, like, fill in the gaps. That'd be pretty cool. Alright, excavation complete. Mongoliensis. Somatic growth is done. That's done. Sorry. Oh shit, right, we had Anky eggs.
Over 6 meters long and has a series of bony osteoderm armor embedded in its skin like chainmail.
Okay, so we got 4 babies. Nice. I think we had a pretty decent amount of eggs, right? From what I remember from last time. I completely forgot about these eggs. Doesn't look like we got anything too crazy going on with any of the babies' colorizations or anything. You have... What? There was some sort of malady, but it seems like it's fine. Let's not worry about it. Okay, we should be able to get the Rex now. So we can do override size. We maximize the size, the biggest possible Rex we can get. It looks like the color override is still set. Let's see if we did... Yeah, it's just too black. Okay, I think that's our Rex. All right. Then we have the other Psittacosaurus now, which was Cypricus? No. Which one is this? This is Mongoliensis, right? We said it earlier. Really like the skin right here. So these guys, let's get rid of this. 2 to 3 and 3 to 5. So if we do the full batch, these are kind of like Microceratops stand-ins. Semi-canon because of Jurassic Park the Ride. So it works as a good stand-in species for that reason. And if we're standing in for micro, there were over 20 micros in the novel. So I think cranking the population on these makes sense. So let's do 1, 2, 3. Ooh, the red one? 4, 5. That one looked really spicy. Oops, I did mature. That's my bad. Whoops. Can I abort the eggs? Okay, we could sell when they're done hatching. I kind of want to keep the red, but like doing adults is illegal as far as I'm concerned. Okay, we're gonna clear those out. I didn't do an adult for the Rex. I remember shrinking that one down. Well, my bad. That's fine. Still waiting on staff to get across the park to actually deal with a lot of these feeders that need things. No accessible food. That's just because you're fully depleted. That's really bad, actually. Waiting staff. No feed. Are we actually at no feed, though? Looks like this delivery must have came in because I do have other stuff. Okay, let's get another order going there. I hired a few people, but I am feeling like I'm going to need even more. Let's do 2 more keepers, another laborer. Right now, the stocking of the enclosures feels like the real problem. I do have a warehouse and a rest center for the staff on the far side of the island as well. How far has anybody traveled down these paths? Oh, this is not connected up. Fair. Oh yeah, I remember because I was having problems getting the angles to look okay. Because they do this thing. Where they don't quite connect in the way I want them to. That one worked out fine. It was just the preview that was weird. But sometimes we have actual problems with those linking up. Okay. Well, the tour path, I think the loop is complete, I think. So nobody on this segment, which may mean nobody's reached that far, or it may mean they can't cross the bridge. One way or the other. We'll have to find out. I mean, there's not even anybody going all the way down here, to be fair. And these paths have been here for forever. It's like the maximum distance anybody's reaching is this guy in his friggin' khakis. Alright, well, that's fine. What I was going to do was get these guys for real this time. 5 females. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Animal pregnancy on Ulva.
All over Western North America,
All right.
Edmontosaurus is the textbook definition of a hadrosaur. Hadrosaurs are commonly referred to as duck-billed dinosaurs. But don't let that catchy moniker fool you. These dinosaurs lived on land, not in water.
You say that. Looks like it's in water to me, Nigel. Briefly, at least. Okay, cool. Another batch of eggs. Meanwhile, all of this continues to be a problem. Okay, so these guys are Mongoliensis. Mongoliensis is coastal. So in theory, these guys can also just be chucked in the other enclosure. What if we put each species in a different enclosure for vibes? I could put them in here, the Mongoliensis. They should be fine. This is coastal, I think. Maybe I should make sure. Yeah, most of these are coastal. Okay. Let's do it. Let's put them in here. Yeah, no dialogue is going to play there. All right. Then we need the males. So we needed 3 males. Okay, then we have Sibricus, which is not done yet. Wait. Oh, I bet you that one was Mongoliensis as well. We'll just put all 5 of them on this. We'll just run down Sibricus super quick. Animal growth. Ulva is now an adult. Bunik is now an adult. Tuktu is now an adult. They... Not quite... That was a teenage pregnancy in our park. How dare us?
Although it doesn't have a magnificent bony crest like its more famous relatives, some Edmontosaurus sport their own flashy headgear in the form of a comb made entirely from soft tissue.
Let's do a check. What's going on here? It's Velociraptors. They're just always bad. Who cares? Actually, the Velociraptors have been pretty well behaved recently. Okay, cool. We got a stock of meat there and here. The Allosaurs are go. So let's get these Allos out. We have, wait, which ones? Hold on. Did I accidentally release one? Wait. Barry, Dolores. There might be an Allosaurus somewhere in this park currently on accident. Either that or I never finished hatching or cloning the one? What the... Huh. Okay, there isn't. So what did I actually synthesize? Okay, close this. Can't tell. So this should be our Anax. I guess we just release these one at a time. So the Anax is supposed to be over here.
The unique horns of Allosaurus give them a rather sinister looking grin. A fun name might make this one seem less intimidating. Perhaps we should call him Big Al? Big Ali? shoot! Was this individual a male?
Very funny.
It can be nearly impossible to sex reptiles by sight, dinosaurs included.
That also might be an intentional reference to Big Al having medullary bone and therefore being Big Allie. Okay, so this is our Anax. I like the red markings on the snout. All right, let's get the environment sorted out. So let's just start with the complete and utter destruction of every tree within a 10-mile radius, as if we were a lumber company. Okay, no trees. So we've got desert, we've got grassland, and we've got scrubland. I could go with some grassland maybe. They have no environmental need beyond. Wait, they just have like no environmental need. How does this work? Because they're like completely. All of these can go to 0. That's confusing. It's just completely like optional. We'll just continue it up this way for the vibes. That way it kind of matches the enclosure. All right, and yeah, we're just at the limit there of available forest space as it stands. I've completely lost the aloe. Name it Demetrius. Let's find him. There she is. Even though it's a she. Okay. You're good and happy and way too fast. Ooh, I like the lankiness of that run. The way the legs stretch out. It looks really satisfying. Okay, Few compatible items. So, meat. We'll give you a nice blood pumpkin as well. We'll put that down over here. Okay, and then for our other aloes, so we have this one. We have the male. Beth is our Rex. Well, might as well get you out here. Jim Matsna. Right into the water, classic. All right. You dislike tropical, you don't mind grassland. Okay. You've got way too much water. I was hoping it would work out because I like the river and I don't really want to delete it. I could ignore it. I could just say that you just gotta live with that. You're just gonna keep it. I don't know. I could also just increase the size of the exhibit on the land part and deal with it that way. Okay. Scrubland, coastal, or desert. Let's do some scrubland. get a little outside the enclosure so the vibe kind of matches. Okay. Sure. So I think I'm just going to leave them like that on the river. Got Asha Greyjoy coming here. Never actually read the books. All right, there's our female. We go with our male. For 3 total allosaurs in the park, which feels like a good number for a medium large carnivore, let's say. Hey, somebody on the bridge. Even if this is just a staff member, that means the bridge is traversable. That's cool. Ooh, they turned back. I wonder if this area doesn't work. Would they try to cross it and then fail? No, I think she's just going to work somewhere else, so maybe that's not anything to be concerned about yet. Okay, Rex enclosure. Dying animals probably another thing to check, huh? I mean, it's a velociraptor, so I'm just gonna choose to ignore them, maybe. Well, all right. It doesn't. There's no skin off my back to like help them along here. Skin off my teeth. That's the expression. It's also no skin off my back. All right, we'll send you also. You're in food corner. Wait, is that the one I just moved? Okay, no, the other one is there too. All right. Great. Oh yeah, and Monosaurus egg check. How we doing on Monosaurus eggs? That's a good looking clutch. What do we actually have? 6 eggs, hatching in 14 minutes. Damn. Ulva and Tuktu. All right. The Hadrosaur herd drinking together was very Jurassic Park. Better if they didn't clip into each other in that moment, but it's fine. All right, Rex enclosure. Are you stocked? Yes. Okay. So here is our little Rex cliff. Right by the fence for that, you know, to plug up that JP plot hole that people like to bring up all the time about how was there a cliff? Well, the cars were here, and then the Rex pushed the cars over here where there was a cliff. Plot hole resolved. That's probably about all the effort I'm going to go into for making that work. Looks like Sibricus is done too. All right, Beth. AKA Rexy. Okay, so you are content with your biome. You just need actual water and more trees. So we could put a little water down here. Okay, that's yeah, because the intensity was maxed out. Don't do that. Okay, maybe I don't want, you know, that much. It's a little much. Just put a little bit down there so that it feels like the lower area has a purpose. Then we'll throw some water maybe out here in the middle a bit. That way if the Rex is wandering around, she can at least go get a drink. Still needs a lot more. Let's do... We can extend this water, which was, I think, river... Well, I can't cross the actual fence line, so let's do maybe just like our own secondary little river branch going somewhere. That looks awful, but we'll clean it up. Shrink it down. Get rid of those very elbowy looking elbows, maybe. It's like a separate drainage channel or whatever from the main river, right? Like when this river overflows and it goes into this. That's our headcanon. Doesn't help that much, but it's useful. The river is apparently elevated relative to the nearby terrain, which I hate. But we need more trees too, so this can be somewhat patched up with trees as well if the border of this segment of river ends up looking weird, which it is absolutely doing. Alright, I've lost the Rex data, so the T-Rex needs what else? Wait, what's this enclosure? Wait, that's the Dilo enclosure. Did I... 0 of 6. What? Oh, because there's a filter. It did not remove that after it was initially... I was done looking at it. Okay, Rexy, there you are. Okay, we're halfway on water. That's crazy. She likes it wet. What can we say, I guess? Mix some different, I don't know, types of water in here. I don't know what else to do with the rest of this enclosure, really, so... Just keep putting in a series of different, like, little lakes and stuff, I guess. Maybe we put a little island in the middle. Sorta. You know what would be cool? Like a water brush that has some sort of, like, randomization to the perimeter. That way it's not always putting down a circle. It's like makes it feel more like a proper shoreline or something without it feeling really tedious to work with. That'd be kind of neat. You prefer Roberto over Rexy? Yeah, it's a better nickname. I agree. We're just doing Rexy because we're skewing more for the film than we are with the novel. Given that we're doing like the film paddocks roughly and stuff. So, okay, well that's enough water. Now we're gonna deal with the trees. Temperate is acceptable, wetland is acceptable, and tropical. Let's do tropical. We haven't actually used tropical vegetation much in this park. I'm just gonna thread it along the waterways primarily to begin with, and then fill in with some other stuff. Oh yeah, we also need to do a lot of trees in the canyon section. That way it appropriately feels like the movie where they look down and there's the trees, right? Well, they don't really look down. They like climb down and there's the trees, right? Nobody looks over the cliff until it appears suddenly. I guess we can kind of like really max out this exhibit in terms of tree density too. Because the Rex is a pretty high threshold for the tolerance. Don't get into the other paddock, though. If we do that, then they get upset. Definitely sharing paddock borders in this game is pretty dodgy, since it's really hard to control the precise placement of the vegetation up to the exact position of the fence. And the T-Rex was pretty hard to see initially, so this should be a pretty forested, even up by the front. Kind of just a gap, like right at the fence line where you can kind of see the Rex if you're lucky. Because Jurassic Park is unfortunately poorly designed as far as being a park goes. You can't see any of the damn animals. Will condors be in this park? Yeah. We brought back a flock of condors. You'd have nothing to say. When are we going to get condors in JWE3? That would actually be kind of hilarious, just adding like the California condor or whatever is a aviary species on like April Fool's Day or something, and then just keeping it in the game. That would be actually pretty funny. That would be well played. It is pretty cool actually seeing the treetops here through the fence line like this. I actually really like this as a vibe. That palm tree like right there does a pretty good job too, but it's unfortunately clipped into the fence. I'm gonna have to kill you, Mr. Palm Tree. You can't be here. Sir? This one I can't even click on. There we go. That is a sheer cliff face. You're not allowed to be on that tree. That one's close enough to the edge, it's fine. Alright. With like the fog and stuff, it's kind of a sick view, like getting a glimpse down the hill. Very dangerous for the guests that close to 10,000 volt fences. Yeah. We need locking mechanisms on the vehicle doors, except there's no vehicles. Well, let's check on the Rex again. That's maybe enough trees to make the enclosure feel appropriate. There she is. Yeah, we're above the threshold. I think I'm not going to strain myself by putting in further trees. And in terms of like the overview of the broader enclosure, it's all just forest out here. It doesn't really matter. I'll operate under the assumption the other enclosures are good too. Okay. So, Cherry has maiden and is now pregnant. Congratulations to Cherry the Gallimimus. Faye has died from a tooth abscess. Gallimimus. Well, shit. R.I.P. Faye. Win some, you lose some. Gallimimus, I guess. Ringworms recovering. Alright, you're fine. 19 remaining notifications. 3 dying animals, including the big one. Given that you're the only senior raptor, we should probably try and make sure you don't die. So once you get over by food. I'm not going to always be here to babysit you, but you're lucky that I'm checking right now. Get over there. Eat some crap. Alright, ratings check. So, visitor count is good, but 91% satisfaction, probably because there's a crippling lack of toilets. Animal welfare sufficient. Animal points is really low. And we need one more species. So we need some dudes to grow up. But other than that, we're probably not doing too bad. I'm a little concerned about you because I have seen you guys get a little close to dying. You're good. You're near Nedry. You can go get a Nedry size snack. And or drink. Alright, this episode ended up going way too long. I had to cut it in half in post. So next episode we'll pick up immediately where we left off.